friends, welcome back to a brand new episode of Vlogmas. Today is December 9th. Y'all, Christmas is quickly approaching. I cannot believe it. I honestly feel like every year that I've had little kids and I've had to like buy presents and, you know, be Santa and all that stuff, I always feel like the month just flies by. But this year it feels like it's flying by and I'm not even doing anything really festive. Like, we went to see the Nutcracker, which was amazing. And I have made fudge, Christmas fudge. Like, it's my favorite thing to make. It's my favorite thing to eat. It's just so delicious. I've made it twice. And I have had a lot of it. Anyway, I DNF'd, in the last vlog I had DNF'd that YA fantasy. Sadly, I was really excited for that one, and it just did not pan out for me. So I was in the mood for a historical. So I have this book, this author on like my radar, and she actually is. I have the first book in this series, which I left unfinished, and instead of, you know, doing the normal thing of going back to that book and finishing it, I decided, you know what, why don't we just go read the second book? Because this synopsis of this book appealed to me more. So I'm currently reading The Spinster. This is a historical romance. It's set in 1920 in the Americas. And the basic premise of this is that the heroine was like engaged to be married with this man. She believed him to be the love of her life, and he went to war and he died while he was in the war. She finds out and is devastated and is certain that she is now going to be a spinster forever and always. So the interesting thing is that she is the daughter of the couple from the first book. So a lot of time has passed from the first book to now, which I think is fun. Anyway, so she had written him many love letters, like just, you know, loved him, wrote him all the time. He, however, didn't write her back very often. But one of the men that he served with over there survived, and he ended up actually hospitalized from the Spanish flu, Spanish influenza. And while he was like convalescing and stuff, he found those letters that she had written to his friend, and his friend had passed away, and so he started reading them. And he fell in love with her through those letters. Like, he was so taken with how she described her home and with how she expressed how she felt about him. Like, he just had this longing to be loved like that. And like that just, I immediately saw that was why they like met and paths crossed, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to read this. So like, I'm a sucker for that. It's so romantic. I just think it sounds amazing. So he ends up traveling to her place, her town, because he was so charmed by her description of it. And he knew something about her fiance that he wants her to know so that she can like move on with her life and stuff. And that's basically where I'm at. So where I'm at in the book right now is they just have barely met up, and he hasn't divulged any information to her. She's still thinking that she's going to be a spinster forever and just be an aunt and all that, you know, because she's 23 and just absolutely too old to marry. But it's very charming. I like the writing style. This book is one of the few historical romances I've read that's written in first person. It's an indie published book, and I just am really having a good time with it so far. It's also set at Christmas time, so there's like skiing and ice skating, and like they're talking about decorating the town, and so it was a good choice to read for this time of year. I will say, because there was a horse involved, and I am a resident horse girl, I have a little critique about a few things they said about the horse. Like, it's not anything that probably a horse person would even recognize, but like, they treat the horse like it's a dog. Like, she says that it smiled, and I'm like, horses don't smile. Like, I mean, some people say that when they do the flared lip response that's a smile, but anyway, I of course am being picky about horse details, but I can't help myself. Also, he was afraid of the horse, and so that kind of I'm like, you went to war, sir, and you're afraid of a pony? Come on. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so that's what I'm reading. It is Friday. I'm working, and I'm going to be listening to this audiobook while I work on some tumble creatures, some sculptures, right here, actually. And What was I going to say? Oh my gosh, my mind just went blank. And my weekend reading plans, the book I want to physically read is this Elsie Silver book. I talked about this in a few videos. I don't remember if I told you much about it. I'm about 30% of the way into this. This is her older series. I can't remember the title of it because, you know, my mind just goes poof about titles and names, specifically when I get on camera. I don't know why. I am sorry. I am not seeking help. It's just how I am. But I'm reading this book and I'm liking it a lot. I picked this book up specifically because it's Violet, the sister of the brothers that are in her Heartless and Fearless series. Did I say those right? That seems like it's wrong. Flawless and Heartless. Yeah, okay. I'm like, I know it's Fearless doesn't sound right. So I picked this one up because she was in there, and I definitely I'm liking it. I will be very surprised if this is a knock it out of the park for me. And that's mostly because this definitely has the flavor of a book that is written for a very specific spicy romance reader, TikTok romance, because of the setup for how they meet, where Violet, you know, she feels like she's been very, like, sheltered, and so she ends up going on her own. She wants to be she's a jockey, she wants to work with horses, so she goes on this, like, racehorse ranch, and she definitely has, well, and this is tough because it's told in, like, flashback, so it's not actually happening in real time, but the way that she meets the hero is by posting nude pictures on this site online. And he meets her, and they end up forming this sort of online... It hasn't gotten to the spicy part of their relationship online yet, but I know that it will. So they met there originally, and then come to find out he's the brother of the person who owns the ranch that she works at. So that's my weekend reading plan. That's the book I'm going to read on my Kindle, and that I'm going to continue listening to this historical, and yeah, I'm definitely in a historical mood right now, so I'm not sure what I'll pick up next. I may pick up, I don't know, we'll see when I get there, because I've already talked for 7 minutes. So, thanks for watching, my friends. I'll check back in with you probably tomorrow when I have more of a reading update. Haha, I forgot to taste the tea, whoopsie. Okay, so today's tea is Arabica Mocha, which I'm excited about. Smells earthy and interesting. I think that, like, when I looked at this, the base had, like, a mate, like a yerba mate, I'm thinking. So that's interesting. I like that. This also has natural chocolate flavor, hazelnut flavor, Arabica tea. That's good. I'm surprised at how good this is. This is definitely earthy, chocolatey. Like, I would say this is a robust tea, if I can say that. I like it. It's a good one. All right, for real this time. I'll see y'all tomorrow on December 10th.
Put the night up over Mars. You trim a tree, I put up a star. I wear a sweater, it's down to my knees, and you will kiss the freckles on both of my cheeks, and we will sing our own Christmas song.
friends. Wait, stay here. Wait, Wanda, no. Come here, Wanda. The people want to see you. Look, say hi. I'm right here. I'm a little fluffy girl. Give me a haircut. Say hi, Wanda. See? Look. She's still definitely a bit crazy, so I feel like hopefully. Okay, so hello friends. Hopefully you can see me okay. It looks like it's a little blurry. Let me fix it. Hold on. All right, I feel like that's better. Hopefully. Here's Kazi too. They're both in here. They're both in here. Come here, guys. Come on. No. They're busy playing back there. So, okay. So today is December 10th, and first of all, I got some book mail that I want to share with you. So I was so surprised. I unwrapped this on Instagram, but Sophie Lark sent me a finished copy of Anastasia, and like, this is a floppy. It's a floppy paperback, and like, I'm so thrilled about that because knowing like how big this book was, and it's not quite as big as the ebook. Like the ebook says it's like 850 pages. Like this one says it's 656, which is still, you know, it's still pretty hefty, but it's not like terribly so. But look, it's got all of these illustrations, which the artist, I follow her on Instagram, and I think that she's absolutely amazing. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce her name. Line? I'm so sorry, but like she did the illustrations for this, and they are so absolutely stunning. There was one in here of a horse that I really loved that I need to find now that I have a physical copy. Like, this was wrapped beautifully, and it came with this beautiful art print that Lane did too. And truly, like, this just made my whole day. I loved this book. I'm a huge fangirl of Sophie Lark. Like, I truly think she's incredible, and I love her books. Her writing just really works for me. I was just so deeply impressed with this book on a craft level, on a fantasy level, on a historical level, and on a romance level. Like, I feel like the romance in here was beautifully well developed and deeply emotional. I adored it. And I feel like, while there is steam in here, I feel like this isn't a super steamy book, and I don't love the idea that some people have that a lot of steam equals romance, because I disagree. As you all know. So anyway, that was just wonderful. And then I got this piece of mail from Bree, from In Love and Word. I'm very excited about this. So kind of her. I'll open this for you, because she's still just a baby. She's still just a baby, huh? Don't lick the book. Oh, that's a wonderfully sweet card from Bree. That was very, very kind of her. And then I think these are probably stickers from her shop, which is wonderful. Puppy alert. Puppy alert, huh? What are you going to do with stickers? I'm probably massacring this. I am very excited. Okay. These are so cute. So books are my drug of choice. Look at how cute they have little phrases on them, if you can see. They're adorable. Bookish AF, romance reader, life, main character vibes, happily ever after required. Give me romance or give me death. Like, these are so adorable. Kazi, will you stop? Gosh, both of you are children today. Books are better with HEAs. These are adorable. Thank you so much, Bree. I love those. What a thoughtful, lovely holiday card. Thank you. Now, if you don't mind, Miss Ma'am. Okay, so, book update. I am actually really enjoying both of the books that I'm reading. Let's talk about The Spinster first. So, this one is a pretty short book, and I am really liking it. I was deeply, deeply invested in the overall plot. She just laid under my feet. Like, the premise of this, where she was writing these love letters to her fiancé. He died in the war. His friend in the war found the letters, read them as he was convalescing from the Spanish flu, and fell in love with her from the letters. Like, I just love that. So, I am liking this book. I don't feel like it's going to be a 5-star read for me. There's a certain quality to the writing that is both charming and, I think, may be off-putting for some people, and I think that's like the overall tone of this book. It feels very much like the way that it's written, it reminds me of like a 1950s black and white sitcom type of feel, but not like funny, but like that, like an old black and white movie type of, stop licking my books, you silly dogs. These furry children. Not quite to a level that is off-putting, and like, I'm not entirely sure how to describe that. Like, it's not, like, kind of like a good old boy type of vibe, you know, like there are a few lines that the hero says that I feel like are really romantic, but they definitely give that feeling of like 1950s, 1940s movies, and I think it suits it because this is set in the 1920s. So I also feel like a lot of this book is focusing on the family, which is also fun, but I wish there was a bit more on the romance development between the two. However, I'm only like 60% of the way through this, so I still have a good chunk of the book to get through, and then I will let you know my final thoughts on there. But right now it's sitting at around a 4, but I mean, I'm liking it, so there's that. And then I was reading A Photo Finish by Elsie Silver last night. I'm reading this on the ebook, and I'm really liking this. I feel like Elsie has such a great command of characters, of writing characters, and I think if I have one complaint about this book, it's that she tends to over-describe feelings and internal thoughts. And I feel like this is very specifically a new author issue, sometimes, not all the time, but I have noticed this in a few authors that also have great talent, great potential. They do tend to do this specifically when there's dialogue happening, where there will be, one of the characters will say some dialogue, and then there will be a lot of like internal thoughts from the character who is either speaking or listening, whichever point of view you're in. This is dual point of view. And I think that the thing that makes this really interesting about this book of Sophie's is that this is apparent in this book, and it's not necessarily ruining my enjoyment by any means. Like, I'm still enjoying the heck out of this book, but it's very interesting for me to read this earlier book of hers and compare it to Heartless, which is her latest book, where that is gone. That little flaw, you could say, is gone. Like, she's developed her writing craft so well that that doesn't happen anymore in Flawless and... Is it Flawless? Why can I never remember the title of that book? And Heartless. It's just, her dialogue is witty, snappy, and there is some introspection or internal thoughts from the characters, but it's not so much that it sort of takes you from, now what did that character say, you know what I mean? That type of dialogue. So I'm really enjoying this story immensely, and I'm getting very sweet vibes from it. I really like the hero. He's a very complicated hero, and this story is great. One thing I particularly love about this, though, that I wanted to mention is that as a horse girl myself, I was raised with horses. I trained horses. I worked as an apprentice trainer when I was just out of high school for a little while. So I'm like deeply familiar with horses. I haven't talked about that for a long time. But anytime horses are mentioned, which I also actually talked about in The Spinster, I'm very critical about how horses are portrayed, because you can immediately tell when a non-horse person writes about horses. And that's what happened in The Spinster, you know? So this was written by a horse person. The Elsie Silver one was 100% written by a horse person. You can tell she knows horses, she knows their manners, and she knows how to work with them, and I'm just absolutely living for the relationship between the horse and the heroine, Violet, in here. Like, that's probably one of my favorite parts. So that alone may push this to a 5-star read for me, because honestly, I'm noticing that I don't even want to call it a flaw, that little bit of underdeveloped writing quality that she has in this book that then disappeared in Heartless, which I find just very impressive and really, really cool to see that in her writing. But the story itself is still very readable and very engaging, and I want to just keep reading it and not put it down and have to work, you know? Like, geez. So, there's a reading update for you. I'll come back tomorrow, and we'll wrap both of those books up and let you know my final thoughts. So, thanks for watching again, and I'll see you in my next clip. Oh, I will actually... I haven't made my tea yet today. I will make it and do the tea tasting for sure. But I don't have it made right now. I just was in here with the dogs, and I was like, you know what? Let's do a video when they're actually being chill. So we did. I'll see y'all in a bit. Hello friends. Alright, I have today's tea. The flavor is white pear. Let's taste it real quick. I like that one a lot. It is very light. Just a tiny bit of pear flavor. This one is super good. See, this is a mug my mom gave me for my birthday. That's a 9 out of 10. Super good one. See you tomorrow.
Hark how the bows, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw cares away. Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, meek and the bold. Ding dong, that is the song, with joyful ring, all caroling. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they bound, raising their sound. Oh, hill and dale, telling the tale. Gaily they ring, while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Merry, 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 merry Christmas. Merry, merry, merry Christmas.
Hello friends, welcome back to Vlogmas. It's Sunday morning and I'm very excited to have like a whole day of reading. That just sounds amazing. So I'm going to share this vlog clip with you, give you my final thoughts on the books, and then I'm going to go drink my tea and read. So today's tea it's spiced green, which smelled so good. I really love that. Like that's, you know, earlier in an earlier vlog I said I don't really like the greens, but that one is magnifique. Like the spice in there is perfect Christmas, so it's just so good. So okay, this vlog was 3 days instead of 2, and so I want to kind of keep it, I definitely want to keep it under 30 minutes. Like I don't want any of these Vlogmas vlogs to go that long. My goal is always 20 minutes, but you know me, I just can't stop talking sometimes. So let's talk about The Spinster first. I finished this. I ended up giving this 3 stars, and honestly, I was so disappointed with this book. I think the major thing that disappointed me in here was a lack of connection between the romantic leads. Like, there was very little build-up. There was very little intimacy shared between them to reveal how they feel about one another. There was very little romance. It honestly felt like he fell in love with her in these letters, which honestly, the premise of this book just completely, I was like, I'm gonna love this. But this was an example of a very much failed execution, which is sad. Like, it could have had so many great romantic moments, and there were some, but it overall just seemed to dwell a lot on the sibling relationship and the town, and it didn't land for me. Like, I would say it was a pleasant book. Like, there was nothing about this book that was infuriating or frustrating. It was just overall pleasant and okay. So 3 stars, disappointed. And I think I'm probably done with this author now. If any of the books were going to sell me, it was going to be this one, so I am disappointed. This is also a closed-door romance, which I'm fine with, but there was no other, like, even if there had been an open-door scene, it wouldn't have done anything for the romance because there was literally no connection between them, so. And then I finished A Photo Finish by Elsie Silver, and I really loved this one. I honestly very much enjoyed this. I think that this is probably, I honestly, I'm really struggling. Hi, hello, welcome to see me, huh? This is Cassie. I was kind of struggling to know if I wanted to do 5 or 4. Like, is it a 5-star? Is it a 4-star? So I did finally decide on a 4-star because there were there were a few issues that I had with the writing that I mentioned earlier, but also I feel like some of the aspects of their romance felt a bit rushed to me in places and not developed enough in other places. But all of those I feel like are minor complaints because this is a high 4-star read. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I loved the horses in here. I thought it was just very, very fun. And I truly feel like if I hadn't read Heartless first and loved it so much, I probably would have given this 5 stars. But when you compare the two, it's definitely not a 5-star like Heartless was. So I really enjoyed this. I thought it was very romantic, very swoomy. It was a good one. So, all right, there you have it. Those are my final thoughts for these books. Thank you so much for watching. And if you want to leave me any type of emoji, anything that is winter themed, that would be great because we're supposed to get a lot of snow today. And I'll see y'all in my next video.